People back home think that the moment you land in America, dollars just rain from the sky. But here's the truth. $100 in the US is not wealth. It's a weekly grocery run, a gas tank, or a phone bill. And yet this myth continues to crush immigrants because families expect more than we can give. Today, I'm exposing the real economics of immigrant life in America. This might apply to other countries like Canada and the UK, and we are going to use real numbers, real struggles, and real stories. If you are abroad, share this with your family. If you are back home, watch with an open heart. Hello, this is Kwame Abe's son, and today I'll say the things you want said for you. Watch till the end and send to your loved ones to start a difficult conversation. Let's start with what people think and what the reality is. The dream versus the reality. The American dream looks shiny on Instagram. The houses, the cars, the clothes, etc. But behind every selfie is someone working 10 to 12 hours just to stay afloat. In Ghana, Nigeria, Mexico, India, $100 looks huge. In America, that's dinner or a weekly grocery run, like I said previously. The numbers don't lie, so let's look at the numbers. According to the census statistics from 2024, the median household income is about $74,500 a year. That's about $6,200 a month before taxes. After taxes, that comes to about $4,500. Now, I know that if you're outside the US, you're already converting this into your local currency. For example, $4,500, you already calculated it into cedis, and you think that someone is making a lot of money. Mind you, even immigrants start lower, right? Because their work experiences outside the US is not considered. So most people have to start at entry level or even below. And most people sometimes are even lowballed, maybe for lack of skills, etc. So immigrants often start lower. Some people make between 30 and 45K a year. That comes to about 2,200 to 3,200 per month. So let's take two scenarios. Scenario one, the monthly budget breakdown for a single worker. Averagely, rent is about $1,850. So if it's a household with a spouse and kids, to have like a 2-bedroom apartment, which is on the low side, that could go as high as $1,850 a month or $1,850 a month. Car, insurance, etc., that comes to about $750. Groceries, $700. This might be for you or not. Groceries come to about $700. Then we talk about healthcare and insurance premiums, utilities, light, water, internet, etc., and other things, right? So that comes to a total of $4,400. That means that even if you're on the low side making $2,200 or $3,200, you're already in the red. But if you're someone who makes about $4,500, that leaves very little room after taxes for you to even save. Now, scenario two, what about a family of 4? Mom, dad, 2 kids. If they make a take-home of $4,500, if it's a single income household, but even if it's a double income household, most of the times one makes significantly more than the other. Now, housing is about $2,500. Groceries about $1,100. Now, with kids, sometimes you have to pay childcare costs. Daycare if they are very young, so that 2 parents can work, etc. Then you talk about car and transport for 2 if both spouses are working and so both of them need cars. The way things are here, it's hard to have just one car for 2 people to share. Then we talk about healthcare. So that's about $6,000 already. So in these cases, a lot of people have to resort to credit cards to survive. Then there's also the double burden, I call it, because most of us have 2 families of income. Some people are here living and then they have their spouses and family back home. Others are taking care of themselves and also the generation above them, and even spouses and even siblings, right? And other relatives. So in 2023, remittances was about $656 billion globally. Immigrants send about 10 to 20% of their income home. Often that's about $200 to $500 per month. We've not even talked about black tax. And what is black tax? Black tax is the helping of siblings, parents, cousins, friends, funerals, schools, anything that happens. People want to reach out to the immigrant abroad because most of the time they are able to help. I know people who skip meals here just to wire money back. Not because they are careless or they don't care about themselves, but it is because expectations are heavier than their reality. A friend of mine always says if he had $1 for every WhatsApp message that he got that says, brother, can you help me with this or that? He would finally be rich. A lot of people don't check their WhatsApp messages, or they allow the ticks not to show blue just to show that they've not read the messages, mostly because they are not ready for what the request is. So let's also talk about the emotional cost. There's a lot of stress, there's guilt. People are working 2 to 3 jobs, and that's unhealthy work-life balance. There's also excessive working hours. That means that child supervision and waywardness. Child supervision is low, and that brings about a lot of waywardness. There are many immigrant kids who go wayward since they are being raised by YouTube and TikTok. Mommy is not home, daddy is not home. Daddy is coming from night shift, mommy is going. They just meet at the door and exchange custody of the kids, right? Now, there's also loneliness because admitting struggle feels like failure. Most of us are not able to say that, hey, things are tough or something. Immigrants smile in the pictures, but they cry in private. This video is not to alienate our cultural or moral responsibilities of helping when we can, but instead it is to help people understand the struggles of an immigrant living in another country. So let's talk about the truth families must hear. A lot of times, it is important to be patient. Immigrants need 2 to 3 years to stabilize legally, career-wise, or financially. What do I mean? Most people come here through school. They have to go to school for 2 years or 4 years, depending on the program they are doing. Now, during their student life, financially, they struggle. Once they finish school and they start making meaningful income, there's a lot of backlog that they have to cover. Some students go into credit card debt. Others also have to put down money, huge sums of monies to make down payment for houses and things like that, buy furniture to even furnish their rooms. While you're in school, you can go buy some old furniture you grab at Goodwill. But once you start to live, you want to get something comfortable for you and your family and be able to make them enjoy life also. So it's important that we are patient a little bit. If you have family that's in the US and in the first 2 years, they are not able to help as much as they can, or you want them to, please be patient. The struggle here is real, and a lot of people are going through a lot of burden just because they can't voice it out. Now, the other thing is also the pressure, right? A lot of parents tell their kids, hey, hurry up and come build something back home so that when you come, you can have a place to stay. Now, that most of the time is a lot of pressure. Like I said, it takes about 5 to 7 years for people to be financially steady when they move to the US. The first 4 years or 3 years or 2 years is going through school, or if they come through marriage or whatever, regularizing their stay, etc., then they start to work and there's a lot of backlog to do. So please be patient. Your loved one is very responsible. They will build when they are able to. Only 10% of immigrants ever move back home permanently anyway. So a home in Accra, Lagos, or Mexico City that sits empty while kids grow up in a 1-bedroom apartment in America is not really a sensible way of life, in my opinion. Normally, it looks like a museum, right? The real investment is stability where you live, and I always say bloom where you are planted. Now, it's also important to encourage you to be appreciative. When families receive money or gifts, it's important to show gratitude. A lot of my friends, when we chat, complain of people they send money to, and even appreciation is a problem for those people. Maybe because they feel like it's not a big deal for the people here, but most of these people struggle to send those efforts back home. Now, when someone is coming to America, Europe, Canada, and you can send your loved one who is in America, Europe, or Canada something, even if it's a token, right? It is always highly appreciated. Me, for instance, there was one time an old school friend who sent me their company branded shirt from Ghana, right? It's a company branded shirt, so obviously I know he didn't buy it. But the thought of him thinking about me and sending it through someone he knew was coming to the US, I really appreciated it. I wore it, took pictures with it. I sort of touted it a lot. So it's the thoughtfulness behind it. It makes it not look like a one-way traffic. And this person has never asked me for anything before, but him thinking about me in the US and sending me something was very much appreciated. Now, in conclusion, immigrants aren't rich. They are hardworking. They are very resilient and often exhausted. So, if you love someone abroad, the best gift you can give is understanding, not pressure. And to my fellow immigrants, share this video with your families. Start that conversation. Get to the point where you are comfortable telling them how tough situations are, if they are. Right? Everybody knows that when you have, you'll be happy to give. So when you are not able to, feel free to open up and have those conversations. The truth will set you free from impossible expectations. If you're back home and this helps you appreciate the situation your loved one is in here in the US or any outside country, like, comment, and subscribe. If this message hits home for you because you're in the US, like, comment, and subscribe. Because I'll keep saying the things you can't say out loud. Let me know what you think or what you want me to talk about next. See you next week. This was Kwame Abesan. Thank you.